today I thought that I might do a quick video with some puzzle scratching and tapping. And also maybe do some tracing of the picture here. I recently put together this puzzle, and today I wanted to put it away because I always like to leave my puzzle for at least a few days so I can enjoy it. And then I take it all apart. But I thought before I took it all apart, I could make some tingly sounds with it. And usually in my jigsaw puzzle videos, at the very end, after I have completed and solved the full puzzle, I do a little bit of scratching on it before ending the video. And when I was editing my video of putting this one together, I thought that those sounds were just really tingly. So I thought, why not just make a full video of just puzzle sounds. And I have seen some similar videos like this out there. There's one channel that I will link in the description, and that is Jen ASMR. I think her channel used to be Jen's ASMR Unboxing, but I think now it's just Jen ASMR, but I will link it. And she has a few puzzle scratching and tapping videos that I adore. I really like her tapping in general. I think it's very, very tingly. I'm not a huge fan of just tapping trigger videos. I usually enjoy my videos to have some talking as well. And she has a very relaxing voice, and her tapping is just perfect, and her nails are always so beautiful. So I'll go ahead and link her if you haven't seen her around. This puzzle here is from my Calm collection of puzzles, and this one is about self-love and acceptance. It has this quote down here. It says, "It's through self-love and acceptance that we find peace and happiness in our hearts." And all of these Calm puzzles have a little quote like that with different themes. And this puzzle is a beautiful, beautiful scene. The gorgeous landscape with these hills in the background with different layers of hills, and this taller, closer mountain. All of these little foothills down here. And then there are all of these trees right along here. There's a closer little grove of trees right here. And then it brings us up to this edge of a rock with this river and waterfall. And the waterfall just comes down right here. Off to this side is this rocky cliff edge. And then over here is like a riverbed, but just all of that layered rock. And it comes out into the cliff over here. And then down here behind the quote, you can see we have some little bushes and some trees growing out this way on the cliff. It is a very pretty scene, and the water is so blue. It's like glacial blue. It's very, very pretty. Makes me want to go hiking. Even though I don't go hiking very often. It's just a very pretty scene. And this one was only 300 pieces, but it was pretty challenging doing this part here because all of these rocks look very similar. And the picture, the reference image on the box was not particularly helpful for me trying to pinpoint where certain pieces might go. But it was still a fun puzzle to put together. It's kind of satisfying when I go and edit back my puzzle videos because I get to slowly watch it come together again, but without the effort and the work that it took to put it together. I do love jigsaw puzzles. I have a very analytical personality where I like to solve puzzles and problems when there are very neat and clean solutions. And so I find that jigsaw puzzles really scratch that personality itch for me. I love a very clear and defined goal, and I know that if I'm not quite able to think it through, I can at least brute force it. So for example, for a jigsaw puzzle, if a piece is giving me a hard time and I'm not quite sure where it goes, like here in this section, I can take each individual piece and test it out. That's not the most fun to do. But I know that if I get stuck, I can always do that. So that is very satisfying for me to just sit down and work on something like this. That is also just very low stakes. It's just a puzzle, right? And be able to have a full, complete picture like this at the end. Like these calm puzzles because I think that they feel quite good quality. I've definitely had some very cheap puzzles and the pieces feel like they're going to very easily bend as you pick them up. these ones feel like good, nice quality, and the picture is very clear, and it is glossy. I have seen a trend of matte puzzle pieces because apparently that makes it easier to solve because you don't get light glaring off of it. Like right now, I think it should be pretty good for you, but for me, this area is one big light glare from my lamp over here. But I tried to set it up so that you could see it nicely. So if I was solving this area here, I have to kind of move my head around to be able to see the pieces clearly. And apparently matte puzzle pieces with a matte finish don't have that problem as much. So I did do one puzzle, I think it was my dog breed puzzle. I think that one was matte. I did really enjoy doing that one. That one had some really funky puzzle pieces too. I do think that as you solve these calm puzzles, you are meant to reflect on the quote. I find that I did not do that as much for this one as I did for the first calm puzzle that I completed. But I think the quote is still meaningful. Sometimes I find these kind of motivational quotes a little bit cheesy, but I do think there is good messaging behind them. This one in particular, I would definitely say the older I have gotten, the more comfortable and confident I have become in myself and in my choices and my abilities, and that certainly brings me peace and happiness in my life because I generally care less and less about what other people think. I would say most of my life I've been quite a self-assured, confident person, but I think that we all have doubts or moments, particularly when we are younger, about ourselves or some wavering self-confidence. I think that we are all susceptible to feeling that way every now and then. Even now, when I am much more self-confident and self-assured than I ever have been, there are still some days where I question myself or doubt myself or think a little bit too much about other people's opinions of me than I would like. But it's always a work in progress. I am going to now go ahead and put this puzzle away. I was thinking that I would just film this as a scratching and tapping video and end it there, but I think I will add a timestamp and have this last part be me putting these puzzle pieces back in the box. I am going to first tear this puzzle apart, which is also very fun and chaotic. Let's go ahead and do that. Just gonna take one edge and completely fold it over. I also find taking apart the puzzle to be incredibly satisfying. Because how often in life can you just tear something apart like this that is meant to be taken apart? I do like to go through and separate all of the pieces so that whoever completes the puzzle next doesn't have to do that. It's already done. I do usually like to only complete a puzzle once and then give it to somebody else or donate it. And our local museum nearby us actually has a puzzle library, and people can come in and take a puzzle or leave a puzzle, and that's such a good idea because I think most people tend to be like me in that they only really want to solve the puzzle once, and then the challenge has kind of been completed, and so they would rather get a new puzzle. But with a puzzle library, you don't have to spend money on buying a new puzzle. You can just borrow one that somebody else has already dropped off. But you do have to be particularly careful when you're donating puzzles that you are not losing any puzzle pieces, because that would be really quite sad to gift somebody your puzzle and they go through the work of putting it together just to find that it is missing pieces. I believe that this is all separated and broken up for the most part. So I'm going to put these pieces back in the bag that they came in. That is this bag here. were still stuck together. So just separated those. Now I can put this bag back in the little box. There we go. Now my puzzle is all cleaned up. My puzzle mat is ready to be folded and put away. I hope that you enjoyed this hopefully tingly video with lots of puzzle sounds, tapping and scratching. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.